All right, I am headed into the pottery studio next, and I'm running so late and I don't have a lot of time before my session ends. I think I'm down to like an hour-ish before I have to be out of there. So I'll chat afterwards and let you know how it goes, but I gotta go. Okay, here we go. So I promise the camera angle will improve in just a bit here, but I'm still really self-conscious about filming in public, and this was the most discreet place to put my phone to film a video. And unfortunately, all you can see is the side of the wheel. So you can't tell here, but I am fighting to center this clay. And one of the problems I ran into that I'll talk about later on is that I managed to seal around the sides of my clay, but it kept moving around the wheel. It's not a surprise to me that I need to work on centering since I've only done it a couple of times. So this is pretty expected. I did manage to fight through and get it to stick, but I have lots to learn in this area. This, I think, illustrates the problem that a lot of adults have with starting new hobbies, which is that it has been a really long time since it was normal for you to be really bad at something in general, and especially in front of other people. So when you're a kid, school age, you're trying sports, you're in art class, whatever the thing is that you're trying out, you signed up for dance lessons, gymnastics, music, whatever the thing is, you may or may not have been good at that thing. And if you weren't good at that thing, nobody really cared. Like, well, I tried gymnastics and it wasn't a good fit, so I'm gonna do something else now. Time for soccer. Whatever it is, right? But there was not this like social pressure to be good at everything you tried. Now, you might have been a sensitive kid and been like, no, I actually really cared about the things I was bad at. Like, that was not a pleasant experience for me. But socially speaking, on a grand scale, there's no expectation for a 10-year-old to be good at everything they try. As adults, that becomes less and less true. We are so career focused, and obviously you want to be good at your job and succeed in your career. And so it becomes more and more important to present yourself as a competent professional, and that bleeds into being a competent person. As somebody who has taught cello lessons to everyone ages 4 to 75, I will tell you that the younger you start, it's not about just like, oh, they're younger and their brains are fresher and therefore they pick things up more quickly. I've had adult beginners who really took off and improved very quickly. But that first phase where you are playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is really hard for most adults to get through, because you think that you should be good at the things that you do. And so much of what we do are things that we are good at, and we are trying to present and project that we are good at those things. And so we stop trying things that we are bad at because it'll ruin that perfect image. So I think that's a reason why a lot of adults don't have hobbies, because they're just afraid of trying something new, especially if that thing is in front of other people. So for me, doing pottery, even what I did today, is daunting for me because there is a studio monitor there. That's the open times that you can sign up for are all monitored. So it's not just an unattended thing. You know going in that there's going to be somebody there who does ceramics and knows what they're doing, because the monitors are volunteers, but they're all people who have been coming to the studio and doing pottery for years. So it is intimidating to know that I'm going to go into a space and use a wheel that I've only used a handful of times and don't really know what I'm doing yet, in front of this person who's going to be making some beautiful piece for the millionth time and, you know, kind of producing, not so much learning or refining. I'm trying to get out of my own way on that. I signed up for a slot with somebody I had met before who I knew was very chill, and not that anyone would judge or that it would matter if they did, but I was happy that the time that worked for me was with this very chill person. That was very helpful. You just got to get out of your own way. Try the things, even if it's in front of people who judge you. It doesn't matter, and chances are they're not judging you, they're thinking about themselves. Okay, there's no great place to set you in my car, and this lighting is terrible, but I'm done at the Pottery studio for today. I have a membership at a nonprofit studio, so it's a lot cheaper than any of the private studios around here. So that's really nice, and you can just sign up and drop in to different like open studio slots. So that's what I did this morning, but my slot ended at 11:30 and I didn't make it here until like 10:15, so it was pretty tight. But that being said, I did make a pot. It's terrible, but that's okay. I have issues, and I got a tiny bit of video, but I'm so uncomfortable filming in public, and I'm trying to not care, but there was one other person there, so it's like, I don't know, it's awkward. Some things that I want to think about for next time / research / watch YouTube videos about is, should I use a bat or not? Or like today I just threw directly on the wheel. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. It didn't stick. It didn't wedge well. It seemed to dry out as I was wedging it. So then I gave up and I was like, well, we're just gonna throw a pot and see how it goes. And then, yeah, it didn't stick and it seemed wet, even though when I was wedging it 3 seconds before, it seemed dry. So I don't understand how that works, but I need to figure that out. I'm wondering what surface I should wedge on. They have just like a particle board counter kind of thing, and I feel like I'm just picking up particles as I wedge. So I'm wondering if I need to do it on some other type of surface, but then I don't know what that is. Can I wedge at home and then just bring it into the studio and throw it in on the wheel? Maybe that's an option. I'm trying to think through these things while they're fresh, so that when I go back next time, I have a clue what I'm trying to fix. Okay, so when I had it on the wheel and I was starting to center it, I thought it was about to work, and then it starts slipping. And I finally picked it off, and I could see that actually the only part that was attached to the wheel was where I had kind of sealed the circle around it. And basically it was sitting like this. So it was sealed around, but there was a small air pocket here. So how do I not do that? I eventually just kept going and kept going and kept going, and it seemed to stick after like probably 5 minutes or so, and it was fine after that. So maybe I fixed it, but I'd like to not do that next time. I think because it was moving around, I was having trouble centering it, like moving the clay up and down, because I was just trying to kind of keep it in the middle. So I think that part didn't go well, but I'm not really looking to address that right now. I want to get it stuck on the wheel first, and then I'll figure out what happens after that. The actual pot itself went okay. I definitely don't understand how to pull the walls efficiently. I was pulling walls for like 20 minutes and getting nowhere. Okay, so then I made my pot. I was going for a super basic shape. I achieved a super basic shape. I was happy with the shape. And then came the part where it completely failed because I used the wire to slice it off the wheel, and that worked better than it has sometimes. I got it separated from the wheel, but my clay was so wet that I mangled it as I was picking it up, and there was just no way, there was no sliding, there was nothing. I just had to pick up the pot and set it back down on a bat. So that's where I'm wondering, do I just need to get better at throwing so it doesn't have to be so wet? And or should I use a bat to begin with and then just leave it on the bat? But when you watch the fancy pottery people, they finish throwing something on the wheel, they wire it off, they set it to the side, and it's like it's practically bone dry already. I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, anyway, that's my pottery debrief. And now we're gonna go to Costco, pick up groceries for the week. See you after I'm done driving. All right, I'm back from Costco. Ignore the disaster going on in the background. Here she is. Like I was saying, the actual throwing of it, I was fairly pleased with overall, despite the many things that I think I could improve on. The overall throwing went okay. The separating it from the wheel went really badly. So I think the game plan here is to just let this dry out and see what I can recover, or give up and turn it back into a ball of clay. I'm not sure yet. So anyway, you just got to get out of your own way. Try the things, even if it's in front of people who judge you. It doesn't matter. And chances are they're not judging you, they're thinking about themselves. So I've got to decide what I'm doing with this pot and give this cat some attention. I'd love to hear new things you're trying or hobbies that you picked up as an adult that you enjoy. Let's encourage each other to try new things and do whatever the heck you want.
My baby knows that I work hard for a living. There ain't no arguing with that. I bring the bacon home, and when there's some left over, I see him chewing on the fat. I drink my coffee with a bit of cream and sugar.